Alright, here is our next tutorial on Onshape. We are going to be building the base left arm. You'll use basically the same measurements for the base right arm and the base front. So this will act as kind of the tutorial for the 3 parts. I'm only going to show one. So we are creating the base here, the left one. So you'll see there is this routed detail right there, the OG router bit. There's also a miter. Now there's grooves, and there's also splines. So there's a lot going on with this piece here. Now I may just draw the grooves and the little router bit, as well as the miter. We might leave the splines for another time. So let's start off by heading back to Onshape. We're in our file with our post, and it looks like I already got one base done, so I'll show you how I made that one. First, start with sketch. When you're in sketch mode, I'm going to sketch the front plane, and now I'm going to click front on my cube, and I'm going to build my next side away from these guys so I don't end up running into each other and then the parts get mashed up. So I'm going to build somewhere over to the right here. I'm going to use, there's my top front. I'm going to use a combination of my end view here and probably this front view. I don't think I'll use that length. I'll use the full length. So my height, 3.11 on this side. My height over here is 2.76. My width, 0.75. So I may just start with a rectangle, and then, or I can use my line tool. So I could do either or. I think I'll try line tool out. Start from this corner, work my way down around, and back up. So I'm going to trace out the perimeter, and then I'll show you how to do that radius. So, line tool, I'm going to start it right there. We're going down, 2.76, going over, 0.75, back up. Now we are only going up a 1/4 inch, cutting in about what looks to be 0.38. We'll double check our other measurement. Alright, I'm not sure where that is. I think it's not specified, but 0.38 seems to be what it's getting at there. Though I cannot guarantee that those lines are the same. I believe on the other parts we've been doing 0.36, so I'm going to go with the other measurements. So 0.25 in 0.36. Alright, we're going up. 0.16. Oops, let's delete that. Try again. 0.16. Back out. 0.36. And now we got to go back up. Now the next number will not be given. It looks like there's not a number for the space in between the grooves. So there is a number coming down from the top. So I may just use my line tool, go all the way up, and then come back down that 0.4. Alright, so line tool, starting at the bottom. I'm doing what I do know. 0.311. Alright, we got the total height. So I'm going to zoom out here, zoom in. We're going to build down 0.4, and that's going to be the start of our groove. So back in 0.36, down 0.16, now back out 0.36. Alright, there we go. We got our grooves positioned. The next number is from this top right corner over. That is 0.38. 0.38. Okay. And now we're on the tricky part, getting in that radius. So looks like we don't go straight to that corner right there. There's a little step with that router bit, and that step is 0.08. We better do that quick. All right, there we go, 0.08. All right, now you can do this a couple different ways. You could use circles. It has given us a radius. OnShape is going to work in diameter here, so you could just do the math there. Radius is half of a diameter. But there's another tool that I learned how to use. But first, I'm going to use a line tool to connect this point to this point. Okay, right there. My object turns a different color, so it's a completed object. All right, but now we're going to add those curves. This curve right here, this 0.18. Okay, it's going to end in the middle. This 0.22. It's also going to meet in the middle and transition from that kind of convex to concave, right? So we're going to use our 3-point arc. Using this tool, you click from the start and the midpoint. You get the little midpoint symbol there. Click once. Now, does this one bow in or out? Looks like it bows out, and we got to type in the 0.18. So there we go. We come out, 0.18. Then we're going to do the same thing from the middle to the end. This one bows in, and this one's at 0.22. So there is our curves. All we have to do now is extrude what we need according to the photo. So I'm going to hit Finish Sketch. I'm going to get the Extrude button ready. We're going to extrude this main shape and this one here. Don't forget to click him as well. Now we have that curve. So we need to extrude this. All right, 6.05. That is our total length of our piece. It'd be the same on the right, on the left, and then the base front would have a different one. So let's go ahead and type in 6.05. Hit OK. There it is. You can't really see it on mine, but there's the radiuses. So there's the decorative edge. There's the grooves on the inside. My piece is now 6 inches. It is not complete, as in our plans, the top-down view shows that we need a 45-degree miter. Once you start adding up these miters, a 45-degree miter plus another 45-degree miter, that's 90. Right? That's what we're going for. We need to put a cut in there. Okay? And as you can see here, the cut is leaving the long edge, the long dimension, the 605, on the outside edge, opposite from the grooves. The side that's getting kind of cut away here, the inside, okay, that's going to have the smaller measurement at 5.65. So what I'm going to do to cut one of these edges, now again, it's opposite on the base right versus base left, so you'll need to make 2 parts. We're going to flip it upside down. All right. We're going to sketch, and we're going to sketch this bottom surface here. All right, so we're sketching the bottom. Okay, I'm going to rotate this around. And let's see what side we have to do. If I was laying this out, I think I'm going to cut away this corner back in, and then on the other one it'd be the other corner in. So, all right, back to the bottom. Okay, zoom in just a little bit. We're going to use our line tool. Click on that corner. We're cutting it in. Now I'm just clicking a little further than the actual part itself. We're not going to need this whole line here, but when I look at the line. It doesn't look like it's even on both sides. We're going to have to use a constraint using the dimension tool to force it to be 45 degrees. So from this line to this line, all right, creating that V. Currently it's at 37 degrees. Change that to 45. All right, so now we have our 45-degree sketch in there. All we have to do now is finish the sketch, extrude it, and extrude doesn't always mean adding material. It can also remove. So select remove, and then we're cutting at 3 and 11. Okay, what do we want to cut? Well, just this little guy here. Cut him out, and hit OK. There it is. There is the base left arm. Right. All right, so now you should be able to create the base right arm. The miter would be on the other side. Then you should also have the base front and a post at this point. All right, lastly, name it. I'm going to rename this base left. All right.